Welcome back, everybody. It's me, Megan, your host of the Fiberomancer Knitting Podcast, and I am so thankful to have you guys here yet again, checking out what I have to say. Thank you for everybody who is watching Vlogtober, but that is not what today's video is going to be. Today's video is something that I feel that I actually haven't seen people address only by other than word of mouth, and that would be tips to making your RHINEBECK weekend enjoyable, especially if it's your first time. Let me tell you, I have been repetitively refreshing the Weather Channel app on my phone, and it looks like Saturday is going to be a rainy day. Well, you know, if it doesn't rain, temperature should be great and comfortable. But if it rains, I'm gonna tell you right now, I've never been while it's raining. So my tips may not be the best for the given weather, but I feel like these are tips that you should take into consideration and would help make your time at the New York Sheep and Wool Festival enjoyable. First of all, let's talk about what RHINEBECK is. Everybody refers to it as RHINEBECK. RHINEBECK is a town. So RHINEBECK weekend is normally the weekend of the New York Sheep and Wool Festival, which takes place on a Saturday and Sunday. There are also classes which take place, I believe, the day before on a Friday or a Thursday. I'm not sure. I've never taken the classes, so I cannot tell you exactly which days those are, but you can find those over on their website, which I will have down below in the description for you to get to. There are also multiple fringe events which take place the Friday before the New York Sheep and Wool Festival. Those consist of Cakepalooza, India Untangled, and Woolen Folk. Woolen Folk is the newest and the baby of the group. This is only the third year, I believe, and it also has quite a few vendors. So those are other events, and the RHINEBECK sweater aspect of RHINEBECK is specifically referring to the New York Sheep and Wool Festival that takes place at the Dutchess County Fairgrounds. Let's start off with one that can be obvious, and this is a very do as I say, not as I do, because if you know me or you've watched any of my videos, you will know I will not be following this rule, as I have a, pact that I sold my soul to so I can wear heels constantly. The first one would be make sure you're wearing comfortable shoes. As I said, there is a lot of running around. This is a huge fairground. I have on multiple occasions referred to this as the Disney World of fiber events, and you're gonna be on your feet a lot. While there are places to sit, please make sure you wear comfortable shoes. Again, I don't follow my own rules. This would also pertain to weather given events, as I keep checking, like I said, for Saturday, and it will be rainy. There are some inclines and hills. I expect there to be mud, as it is a fairground, and the hill, which everybody refers to for podcaster meetups and meet and greets, is a slight incline that is grass and will most likely be in the mud if it does rain. But keep that in mind when you are planning your outfits to have comfortable shoes for walking. The second and probably most important, know that there are 4 different entry gates to get into New York Sheep and Wool. The first gate, gate number 1, is the one with the red barn, which most people take photos of, and you'll see this is the one that most people will give directions to how to get to the hill, and I'll let you know where that is later on and put it up on the map, because if you're new and you don't know where it is, I know the first time I was looking for it, I had no idea what I was looking for. But there are 4 different gates that are around the fairgrounds for you to get in. So keep that in mind when you're trying to meet up with your friends, that there are different entryways, and make sure that you guys know which gate you're entering through. So this is, you're gonna wanna plan, if you're meeting up with people, you're gonna wanna meet ahead of time, as there is, I've found in the past quite a bit of a dead zone. It's a little bit of a dead zone. The cell service is not that great, at least for me. My provider is AT&T, and I know that it gets difficult trying to communicate in the area, especially with everybody trying to use the service in the area. This is the same kind of thing that happens in Disney. There tends to be spotty service. So keep that in mind when you're making plans, that you might want to do it when you know you have sound service, and to create a location or a spot where you can do that. Another tip that I find is super important, like this is a top tier, this has happened for the last 2 years that I have gone. The ATMs that are available in the E-building, it's the one with the food, and a couple of the other ones run out of cash. And I'm telling you ahead of time, take out cash and have it on you. Like I said, going back to the fact that there is minimal service and cell service, this means that in a few of the buildings and a lot of the food vendors will not have a card reader. And if it is, and if they do have that card reader, it is highly likely that it's going to, at some point during the day, crash, and you're only going to be able to spend cash at the booth. So don't get stuck without cash. And I know, like I said, for the past 2 years on Sunday about midday, the ATMs have run out of cash in them, therefore preventing purchases, as I don't know anybody who actually carries a large amount of cash on them anymore. Especially when traveling. A lot of people travel. This is a huge and important one. So let's talk about, where is the hill? The hill is where everybody likes to meet. This is like hashtag meet me at the hill. This is where all of the podcasters meet up. This is where a lot of the, like, your knitfluencers and designers are gonna say. The hill is located right here. We'll put up the map. And it's not that much of a hill. I know the first year I looked for it, I went to a different hill, which was near the Cider Donuts. That is not the hill you're going to. This is the hill that's closest to, like, the center point where you're going to have the souvenir booth for the New York Sheep and Wool Festival. And it's a slight incline. There aren't really paths on it, and there's not a lot of chairs. So I know I have a friend that brings her camping chair. They bring it and they put it on there so they can sit, because I know I've spent hours standing in place. And so saying that, if you are somebody, make sure that you, it gets very crowded. If you're not a crowd person, I would advise to find a small, it can get very crowded, like I said. This is one from a personal story, which happens almost every year. We forget, so this is more of a personal note too, and hopefully a helpful one. Do not bring an outside beverage, like a can of soda or a can of Monster. You can bring water in, and I believe it's fine in a baby bag for small children, as this is a family event, but don't get caught at the gate when you get your bag searched and looked through with an unopened can, as my friend and I have personally chugged beverages, full-on Monster cans of Monster at the gate, because we're not wasting that. There are also water fountains. There is one water fountain that I can think of off the top of my head. I did not look at the map to see if there's more, but there is one water fountain that I know of that you can refill your water bottle at. This is a tip that I would like to say that I use regularly when on vacation in crowded areas. This is one of my Disney World tips and tricks. Do not get food at the lunch rush. Either get it before or get it after. You are going to wait, but you're going to wait a little bit less if you go before or after a lunch rush, or I don't think it's open late enough for dinner, but again, you're going to wait in line. Do know that. There are long lines, but you can avoid the lunch rush line if you go either before or after, slightly after. Like, let's say if the lunch rush is noon, go before at like 11, or go after at like 1:30, if not 2. Those are all of my personal tips for it. Now, I did call my husband.
In the day?
Oh yeah, the ATM thing. Yeah.
ATM runs out of money early?
Yep. Anyways, any other tips? To make sure and double check with him, as he is a personal yarny companion and a yarn husband and a sidekick, so he has tips for himself as how he, not being a crafter, not being the one shopping and trying to see and greet and meet all the people, what he feels should be noted to make sure that your time is enjoyable. He wanted to note that the weather can be unpredictable. On the days that it is warm and sunny, it can get very warm and sunny. This is very true to New England, and he ends up wearing multiple layers to make sure that all weather is covered. So we'll put this back to, there's a 70% chance as of right now that this year, 2023, is going to have a rainy Saturday, but that could change and it could vary. So therefore, we are going to pack a whole spectrum of wardrobe wardrobe changes so that if perhaps it is not rainy and just cold, we have both gear for rain and for an enjoyable, not wet day. He also wants to make sure that people know the lines are long. And so don't let your partner or your companion get hangry. You're gonna wanna bring a couple of little snacky snacks that are appropriate for your dietary needs. While there are many food booths, again, their lines do get long. So if you're like me and you need food at that very moment, you're gonna wanna make sure you have a snack. Or if you need your caffeinated beverage, you're gonna wanna make sure you get it before you need it. His third tip as a yarn companion would be to make sure if you're gonna sit on the hill, you save your hill spot early. He likes to stake out a spot. We tend to sit at the bottom of the hill because it's the most accessible spot for our people who are meeting with us and our family. But it does get very crowded, and if you intend to have quite a few people come and meet you, you're gonna want to make sure that you have your spot saved. Or if you're gonna stake out for other people, I know we get there a little bit early. His fourth and final tip was don't miss the beef jerky. That's a personal thing for us. I hope that you find these tips helpful, and thank you for watching. I am posting every day during October, and I will in fact be at New York Sheep and Wool Festival. If you have any other questions that you want answered before or during, or if you want to meet up, make sure you comment down below and I will get back to you as soon as possible. If you like this video and you find it helpful, please make sure you share it out to your friends or someone who might want these tips. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Helen, bring me in the dance hall, Rocket.